guys want to do some broadcasting?
Warm in here.
15.
Yep. We're set. Brett's good. We're good.
I love that comment Nate said right here. About you talking about his baritone voice. When you were talking about it in New Jersey.
Barry White, yeah.
Nice haircut.
All cleaned up for the occasion. Gotta look sharp when you're doing broadcasts
in the back office.
and nobody can see you. Yeah.
It's warm in here. Oh yeah, good luck.
From the shores of Lake Michigan here in Traverse City, Michigan, the Traverse City Curling Club, welcome to the 2024 Mixed Doubles USA Curling National Championships. 16 teams competing for the right to represent the U.S. at the 2024 World Mixed Doubles Championships in Östersund, Sweden. See a live look here at the brand new Traverse City Curling Club, opened a year ago, January, already hosting their first national championship event.
Somehow we lost a rock.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Our feature matchup to start the competition here on sheet 2 in draw 1.
They're going to be all riled up.
We have Vicky Persinger and Danny Casper taking on Emily Schweitzer and Blake Hagberg. You see our standings. We have not played any games yet in the competition, so everybody tied for first and last thus far. Here are Vicky Persinger and Danny Casper doing their best mean mugs for the camera. Danny failing miserably, and Emily and Blake, their own fun little intro. Players getting ready for action here. Nice crowd on hand for our first draw. And here for tonight's first game, Tyler George joined here in the booth by USA Curling Chair of the Board, Brett Jackson. Brett, thanks for being here tonight and starting this competition off.
Tyler, thanks for coming back to West Michigan.
Just
delighted to have you, and we're so excited to be having these national championships again in the state of Michigan, as we were in Kalamazoo last year. But this new club is so beautiful. The ice seems fantastic, and the crowds have been, there's so much energy here, and so we're ready to go.
A lot of energy in the building already, right from our first draw. For mixed doubles curling, for those that haven't experienced it before, start with 2 rocks in play, center guard and a rock on the back of the forefoot. Both teams get 22 minutes of thinking time per game. 5 rocks are thrown per team. The lead throws the first and the last stone.
Let's do it.
The other player throws the middle 3, and either player can throw those rocks in that combination. At any point in the game, lineups can switch.
Yeah, the lineups can switch between each ends, and then the team with hammer is the one that starts with the rock in the back of the forefoot. The team without hammer is the guard sitting up front.
Vicky and Danny mugging for the crowd already, we see.
Got that covered, thank you.
Brett, looks like right from the start, too, from the pregame practices, the ice is right up to speed. Seeing some times in the mid to upper 14s just to get to the button.
Yeah, I think it's going to be even quicker than what we saw in New Jersey for men's and women's nationals. And like I said, that's a tribute to this fantastic facility, the ice crew that they have here, and then, of course, the USA Curling Ice Crew led by Sean Olson has been doing a great job getting ready for this competition.
Okay, white clock. Let's hit it.
Hagberg and Schweitzer winning the last shot draw to the button before the game. And we'll have hammer in this first end of play, so Vicky Persinger starting things off for Team Persinger Casper. So Vicky will be throwing the first stone and the 5th stone of this end. Electing to have Casper start out sweeping that stone, not having a broom at the other end to throw to. Another wrinkle with mixed doubles too, Brett. The first 3 thrown stones, you cannot remove any rocks from play. Not just guards, but rocks in the house as well. All rocks can be moved around but must stay in play until the 4th thrown stone of the end. Left side.
Yeah, and for those who are they're trying to keep track of what that means, it's the team with hammer, when they're throwing their second stone, that's usually the stone you can start to hit with.
Correct. Bit big. We'll try to keep reminders going too throughout. So yes, they can hit stones out now.
Can't touch.
When it looks like, from what we're seeing here, both teams are electing to have the other teammate sweep for them, as opposed to some teams which will have someone hold the broom at the other end, and then the person who's throwing will get up and sweep their own stone.
Huh?
Forgot that side curled more.
Oh, well, there, it looks like Vicky and
Okay.
Mr. Casper are doing a little bit of both.
I took the same.
Yeah, it may switch during the game for teams, either depending on the player throwing or the shot that they're throwing. So for this one, Danny electing to have the broom at
Okay,
the
wait,
other
should be
end
close.
for Vicky, and then getting up to sweep his own stone. It's going to be very awkward in the mixed doubles game, because if you have a slider on and you're trying to get up from a shooting position and chase a stone down to sweep it.
Yeah, it's really difficult to do with weight. With a draw, obviously, it's a bit easier.
Nice shot there by Danny.
All right,
Moving those two
eight.
yellow stones to the back of the 4-foot to act as catchers for their own. And we're going to say a million times this week, Brett, that position above the tee line in the mixed doubles game, in the top of the 4-foot, top of the button, so important to control in order to set yourself up to score or keep your opponent from scoring.
Yeah, that rock right now that Red has is sitting in the absolute perfect position. To your point, in all of those catchers in the back are to the benefit of the team without hammer.
Got a curl now.
Blake Hagberg's first stone of this competition for him. Saying this a little straighter here and a little heavy probably too. They did want to move that red stone behind the tee line if they could, but hangs out. Now all three yellow stones back behind the tee, and
Okay, whatever you're seeing.
Persinger and Casper with one on the top of the button. So great position
Back to
for Vicky and Danny.
A little bit, yeah.
It's interesting that both teams out of the gate are choosing to throw on the outturn side of the sheet as opposed to the other side. That'll cause later on some uneven wear in the sheet.
Top 12.
Top 12 from Danny, so really trying to sweep to get this there. Doesn't look like it will, but will serve as a sort of guard for that stone without hammer. Still not a bad spot, as that stone is completely buried behind the center.
I like running.
Not
Can I
bad.
make the double slash?
I'm like, I don't really want to.
Slash, is it there?
I think it jams. It's not the worst. I don't mind the guard.
Isn't super
Okay.
positive either in terms of rotation.
So Schweitzer and Hagberg electing to open this up. At the very least, peel the center guard
no,
off.
Just less ice. It's my out turn. On the rock.
Blake speaking to his tendencies, I believe, on what he believes his out turn will do. So asking for a little less broom. And Brett, that's always good to be self-aware. Know what your throws usually end up doing.
I don't know
That
what
did
it
end up a hair on the wide side there. But does open things up.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, you're fine.
Well, and it reminds me too that as a lefty, his in-turn
Back
and
up
out-turn
there.
are different than what
Yeah, I
I
think
just
so.
described just 30 seconds before.
Yeah,
Sure.
It was because of them.
Yeah, those southpaws always messing things up for us. Got to
know,
pay
right?
close attention. Casper's out-turn draw as a traditional right-handed player.
2. 2. High 2.
Danny and Vicky qualified for the mixed doubles nationals
fine,
by
a bit
virtue
too.
of their points in four-person play. So men's and women's tournaments on tour
It's good.
did qualify them for this mixed doubles. That is one option. We'll speak to some other ones
the shot stone
from
never leaves. It
how
just stays
players
back for-
and teams qualified for
better
this
than it
tournament
is,
as we go
right?
on.
So, I mean, the ideal is going to be to hit here.
I'm fine to leave them. The shot goes back.
Can I get to there with normal? Yeah, let's try it. Hitting the guard is fine.
Yeah.
Thanks. If he hits the guard, I think we still probably put it back, right? I think we just got to put it back.
You see some of the on-ice
Make something
patrons
happen,
and timers.
Freeze into the pocket.
Wonderful crowd here to start off this event. The people of Traverse City, Brett, really excited about hosting this event. We say that basically everywhere we go, that communities are excited about hosting a national championship, but really seems like this community, maybe even more so than others, is very energized by hosting.
Just like the weird ice.
Yeah, I think there's been tremendous media presence here today. We saw, I talked to 3 different media outlets at least in the Traverse City area just in the last couple hours. I don't know if you heard the national anthem, but we had,
wonderful.
Some of the athletes said it was one of the best that they've ever heard. So this is a community high school group of singers that presented the national anthem. I mean, really touching the community support for this event.
But it's pretty hard to.
It's not curling half as much as it was during
I believe the term they use for those is a stirring
other thought
rendition.
is
It's really, really wonderful job by that choir.
Yeah, because what's he doing
Hopefully
now?
it's
goes back
we find it
into
on
right?
Facebook or YouTube or something.
This double still goes
recording
into the
that.
back one most of the time.
I think so. I just don't want to plant one here. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
We could throw like up here.
Well, you could
Hits
also
in
do
practice
this, and if
for
you
curling.
split them, you split them. Yeah, that's fine.
I also wouldn't mind if
there.
they're talking through the options,
Yeah.
and
I'm
I want
fine with
the
draw,
audience
like,
to
I'm
be able to
fine
hear
with
that.
either.
No, we don't
See,
have
that's,
anything
they're gonna have to
else,
run
but
something, and then I'll have something.
I guess if we give him a run, I think we play the draw because if we give him a run and he's able to make it across the top this way.
Okay, so you want
So
to draw?
yeah, I like there. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like sitting
This is
on
you.
this.
really tight. And
I think
If I
that's
don't
the-
have hammer.
Yeah, I think that's
Think
the
so?
correct call. But as you mentioned, the nice thing about doing broadcasting for curling, Brett,
Right, we'll just
is
make
they do
sure
our
it's
job for
not-
us half the time. We don't need to talk over
Anywhere
when they're
else is
speaking
fine.
about strategy because we don't have to figure it out if they just say this is what they're
He can
going to
make
do.
the run across
Exactly.
the top.
But this is a really safe
Or
call
shoot
if you don't
one
have
away.
hammer to go sit on that one. You can even draw to the inside of it and sit too, and yellow's going to be in a really tough spot.
Yeah.
I was thinking we might have wanted to hit on my first shot rather than freeze.
Vicky Persinger throwing
Like if the hit was
her
there,
team's
we could've-
final stone of this first end of competition, sitting 1, trying to freeze to this number 2 counter to sit second themselves. Need to get to at least nose, maybe a little inside of it.
Should be close.
Yeah,
Stay
the first
close.
end not, being super comfortable with the
Yep, line.
it's yet.
Yep.
And the miss here is definitely light, right? To leave a guard right in front of that rock.
Stay on it. Hard line. Hard.
Really going for line. Weight looks close.
Hard.
Well, this shot looks great.
Whoa.
Taps it a little bit. That should be good.
Look at how straight line
Oh.
that is.
I knew
What
I
a
was
straight line
not
you guys
light.
made.
You're out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very odd line of
like
yellow
backboard?
stones in the back that Hagberg was referring to. You don't see a straight line across behind the tee like that too often.
Huh?
So it looks like they're just going to try to draw the side of the button if they can for a point. Their 2 options would be to play the same shot that Persinger just threw and try to give 1, which is not a bad result right now, or to play this draw and try to make sure to get at least full 4-foot to cut them to 1. But if they get to the side of the button, there is a chance to score a point.
I haven't been sleeping anything.
For your first end and the second draw of the game, this is a really, really difficult shot.
Schweitzer's final stone for her team in this first end of the competition. Good tester early.
Here's what this one's doing. I don't like it.
Yep.
Here, no.
Schweitzer calling the line from where she's at. Hagberg hoping this is going to finish up a little bit. Maybe just overswept a little
Yeah,
bit.
he
Looked like
cooked it just a little bit.
throw was good in that early sweep.
And the edge of the line.
It's a great wall.
That's very unusual. So it is
I've never seen that.
a steal of 2 for Casper and Persinger here in this first end of the first game of the 2024 Mixed Doubles National Championships.
Nice shot.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
Back for the second end of action here at the 2024 Mixed Doubles USA Curling National Championships. We look at the other scores on other sheets tonight. Farrell and Thurston, Ryman, Smith still in the first. Moores, Wheeler, Woodcott, TC Dropkin, Nickel on D and E. Also the same. We'll be getting score updates as they come, but our feature game looks to be the one moving at the quickest pace so far, Brett.
You know, mixed doubles is just such a temperamental game. A score of 2 is ideally what you're looking for if you have hammer, but scores of 3 or 4 can pop up at a moment's notice, like out of nowhere, seemingly, and that's what makes this game exciting.
And people have said that in other sports, the best defense is a good offense, but more so in mixed doubles curling, I think, than anything else that we've seen. It's because in men's and women's, it's a lot simpler to play a defensive strategy to keep your opponents from scoring. But with not being able to remove stones for the first 3 shots of an end, it's extremely difficult to play all-out defense. You know, even stones in the house can't be removed. So teams pretty much just have the pedal to the metal at all times, unless it's a very wide gap in the score. So a 2-0 lead really is nothing in mixed doubles.
And every shot matters, and you can look at Vicky coming up a little short, staggering guards now up front. If yellow can get in there and sit 2, which doesn't look like is going to be the case, they would have had real control of the end.
We're seeing a jumble of guards up front now to start the end. So with those angles the way they are, first team to get into the top of the 4-foot's going to have a huge advantage right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that both of them came up short, the first 2 stones thrown, gives me, makes me wonder, is it a little slower going in this opposite direction than it was heading away?
Good weight.
Out of your hand?
Well, Danny might
It was fine.
disagree with that theory after this next throw, apparently. As he's a little deep and a little wide.
Leave it.
Sorry.
So now the opportunity will go back to Schweitzer and Hagberg
It's
trying
just
to get
behind
to
T.
that top 4 position.
It's
They
just
are already
behind
sitting 1.
T-line. If we do that, it's good,
Well, it's weird that you and her both came up a lot light.
but okay.
Or do you like the draw?
It's either that or the draw. I kind of like this.
This should be a hot pack, though. Right?
Draw.
I understand
Okay.
that one more.
I like the call to draw here with
Could be.
that rock behind the tee line. You really want to stay above if you can. We mentioned the qualification process for Persinger and Casper. For Schweitzer and Hagberg, they qualified by mixed doubles points through this season. So the events that they played in gathered enough points through their successes to qualify for this national championship. You heard Emily say 14-5 there, and that's going to go all the way to the back of the button and bump that rock a little bit. So same freeze opportunity again for Danny Casper.
It
was like here.
Well, so do they.
So
Yeah.
So they can bounce off of it to sit on top of us.
And Nuwaliolo's throwing the air.
It was-
I
I mean-
don't know if you heard Danny and Vicky talking about
Yeah,
the
for
different
top 4
lines and what they
there.
thought would be faster or slower.
little better.
So they're really talking through
little ahead
where
of
they need to
back
put
4.
stones and what lines
Yes,
they
right.
need to throw them on in order to get them where they want them to go.
always curl.
Danny mentioned that he thought this line would be one of the faster pads
Drag it,
based
drag
on
it,
what they
drag it.
saw
Go,
in
go, go, go,
pregame
go,
practice.
Go, 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 go. It's definitely slower this way. Okay.
And now Vicky seems to think, as you mentioned, that it is a little bit slower going
For
back
2.
towards the glass.
Or just one, right?
Slow by any means, but I think
Maybe a little downhill, uphill for the ice here.
Oh yeah. Sorry. we're
That
just
rock
one.
is that red rock that Danny just threw is in
we
a
gotta
great
guard the
position
rays.
still, especially with those staggered
I think we
guards
have
up
to
front.
guard the
There's
rays.
just a lot of opportunities that you can use that later.
Because right after I started, I was like, uh-oh.
but his also kind of curled and came down. I thought his was kind
If they make it, what do we do?
Yeah.
Huh?
If they make the raise, what do we do?
I wanted to do that size as well, but I was like, It's not much.
We gotta get, no, that's 100%. I was gonna tell you that if you gave me less ice. The only thing we gotta be aware of is like, we can't tap it and give a double, right? So if we're tapping it, we roll
The good
out.
thing for Casper and Persinger is that stone, even though it came up a hair short, is in a really good position. So it's forcing Hagberg and Schweitzer to play to that same side and not leave that short little tap. It's be very difficult to get out.
Oh. Looks like it's running. Oh.
Yeah, Hagberg and Schweitzer choosing to throw a guard,
Curl.
set shot, and
I think so.
and hopefully get their second point another way.
We can't play that offensive. We got to protect the one.
Yeah. I was trying to get
I'm not
to
sure if it'll curl, but we gotta try it.
If they ever made that raise, then we have nothing, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're making if they make the freeze here, it's tough too. Huh?
Yeah, but it's a much harder shot.
So out turn draw now for Danny Casper. After that guard in the top of the 12s is
If
thrown.
they make it, then we figure out what to do. But
See?
Another one, Brett, where you really don't want to be
Whoa,
deep.
heavy.
And again, we're going to say that a lot too.
Yep. Whoa, whoa.
It's heavy.
Close. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep.
Well, if you can't, even if the rock's behind tee, sometimes, especially without hammer, making sure you're to the rock that's behind the tee line and trying to take away those points that are building up back there can also be beneficial.
I know it.
And that did end up a little bit deep by Danny, so big shot now for
just hope we
Blake
can't tap
Hagberg,
it out. Then we're
playing
fine.
his lefty in turn.
Play this.
That rock is just a little bit behind the tee line, so a freeze to that stone or even a little tap could sit at least one, possibly two.
Right.
Hagberg's
That's
final
heavy.
stone of the second.
I can sweep it.
I think the important key here is to get to nose or to the
Feeling so
inside
sorry.
of that red rock
Good.
that Danny just
Yep.
threw. Be in really, really good position.
Yes.
Wait, no, line
Hard. Hard.
Oh, shit.
Looks like we're seeing a little more curl on this side of the sheet, too.
Curl. Curl.
Really nice line here for Blake.
That's a really good shot.
Yeah, they may be sitting two. It's very close.
Well, they're sitting
Minimum
two, though.
one in great position.
Right?
I don't believe.
Really nice shot by Blake. I think they are sitting two.
I agree.
I wanted the weight to come off, so it bounced.
You want
off,
to just guard then, or try to get in for second?
It was coming in.
I think if we guard, they're only getting
had to
two.
get an inch more.
Yeah. I mean,
I think if we guard, they're only getting two.
Yeah.
I might be able to get to second.
I don't see the harm in getting to second.
people
What's
just
that?
think it does
I don't.
something.
Second.
Okay.
Just throw lightweight and we'll sweep it there, and if it's a guard, it's a guard.
Okay.
Right?
Can't hurt to try, right?
I mean, it's good. We're sitting two.
Doesn't hurt.
And a shot that we're going to see
I
a
think
lot
just throw
this
to
week
have this
again,
swept the whole
Brett,
way.
that you don't see as much in men's or women's curling is these guards to give teams points, especially ones or twos, because there just isn't another option with everything congested in the middle the way it is in these ends, that sometimes you just have to take your medicine and not give a team an opportunity for more points. So giving an intentional two is not an uncommon thing in mixed doubles.
And you would almost never hear that in four-person curling.
No,
Oh, yeah,
very
let's
rare.
just guard to make sure they only get two. That's extremely rare.
Okay.
2022
There.
mixed doubles Olympian Vicky Persinger playing with Chris Plies
eight.
at the time,
I don't know if we're gonna have much.
throwing the out turn, kind of a freeze, kind of a guard. If they can get to second count,
It'll be two after this.
That's the best I could do.
and only
We're still two.
Yeah, I don't
gets
think I
almost to
can do
nose,
much
but
better,
still
huh?
two for yellow.
Good try.
I
The
don't.
only would be if we could get to here.
Not with
Yeah,
this
good luck.
guard. I think I just.
There
threw
is
away.
a
Yeah, get down
possible
there, like you
yellow tap to the pocket of those two reds, but kind of risky.
Yeah, I'd
Probably a throwaway here.
say it's too risky. Take your two.
That one just.
And another shot
Flip
you
the
see
hammer.
more of, the throwaway.
Yeah, flip the hammer here.
So a good end there from Schweitzer and Hagberg to get their two back. will just toss this one away.
Okay, well,
So
tough end.
no 0 in the book for Emily there. That's just not recorded.
2.
And it will be a score of 2. They've agreed. And 2-2 after 2 ends of play in this matchup. And the second end break is brought to you by Steve's Curling Supplies, America's #1 curling equipment supplier for over 50 years. Proud to support USA Curling. No matter your skill level or budget, they have all the top products from the most popular brands in the sport. And right now you can save $10 on any purchase of $100 or more when you use the code USACurling10 at checkout. Visit at stevescurling.com for all your curling needs.
Sounds good.
So with that 2 in the second end by Schweitzer and Hagberg, we're tied 2-2.
You're ready.
Starting the third end of action in our opening draw here at the 2024 USA Curling Mixed Doubles National Championships from Traverse City Curling Club in Traverse City, Michigan. Tyler George here
I'm thinking about 2 ends ago
with
on this side.
USA Curling Chair of the Board,
It
Brett
was,
Jackson.
90.
And Brett, couple of 2s to start the game. Nothing unusual for mixed doubles. Seeing
You said it was a 90.
you see a lot of high-scoring games, even with only 8 ends of play in mixed doubles. So 2-2 start, nothing unusual.
And still with not only just 8 ends of curling, but only 5 rocks per end thrown by each team. And there's still it's a very high-scoring game, and I think that's one of the things that makes it very exciting.
Yeah.
I spoke a little bit with Emily and Blake before the game today too, and there's a little nerves definitely for the squad, especially playing against a team with the pedigree of Danny Casper and Vicky Persinger. Maybe not as many games together as some of the top mixed doubles teams, but their skill level obviously incredibly high. But they agreed that if you're going to play a team that they see as one of the top teams in the competition, getting them right out of the gates is the best time to do it. So I think getting that 2 is so important for them to feel comfortable starting this competition out, feeling like, okay, we can play with these guys. We got our 2. Now it's a game. Let's go get them.
Yeah, I think giving up 2 in the first in your first national championship probably doesn't feel that good. And so being able to get the 2 back, and you heard them during the break, they said they had a full minute. Let's take the minute. Let's recollect ourselves, take a breath. But, to your point, Vicky's not only a good shot maker, but having that experience at the highest of levels in mixed doubles, she had the wisdom to recognize that giving up the 2 is okay in that particular position, and to not try to push something and do something that could potentially cost them more.
As you mentioned, their first national championship. We can all remember our own, and it's a nerve-wracking experience to step onto the national stage for the first time, especially against players that have been there many times already. And for Vicky and Danny, have played at world-level competitions already too. So for Blake and Emily, again, such an important thing to get on the board, not just with a single, but with 2. To feel like they're in this game and now officially maybe in their first national championship competition. Blake playing the intern draw here. Emily's first one just touched that guard and still ended up in the house, but really nice shot by Blake there, settling into the back of the button. It is behind the tee, but shot rock.
You like this?
Without hammer, that's a little more acceptable than it would be if you had hammer.
I was thinking, what about the run on the yellow?
We always do that. If we had hammer, then we'd go top.
Yeah, absolutely agree. If you do not
I'd
have
rather draw
hammer,
than
being
tap.
back on that back rock is really advantageous. It usually takes a big end away.
Casper playing the out turn, come around, draw. Line we saw a lot in the first end. Both teams playing this out turn side, the in turn for Hagberg.
It's good.
So come down.
Okay.
After this.
Yeah.
T.
Danny would really like to get this
T.
on the tee or
Back
above
four.
it. It's going to need to curl in order to get to Noah, so might bounce off. That's all of back 4, probably back 8.
I don't know if you're noticing too. I think
Can they roll off?
Danny and Vicky, used to playing on arena
Like
ice,
this now?
probably have a little more rotation
Can
on
they
their
throw
throws
us out?
than Blake
Not with
does,
the
for
guard there.
example. And so I think
like,
they're able
can they
to,
hit
Yellow's
their
able to
red and get us
capitalize
out
and
like
really
on
get
yellow?
around. We've seen that in a couple different shots where they're able to get to
No.
nose, they're able to get to that
Behind,
one
so
in the
they can
button,
come off the
whereas
red and the yellow. Let's throw top four.
Danny's went a little bit straighter, even with that little bit of weight, it still was a little bit straighter.
Like a 9. Like,
Is it 2? Just like edge right there.
Okay.
Just outside.
It's not that we're not seeing curl. We're just not seeing a hard snap or anything like that. It's very gradual. So, and Blake isn't throwing a dead handle by any means, but there is a lot of rotation on Danny's and Vicky's more than you might expect, or more than you might see from a team that plays in
Pull it
clubs
up
more
a bit.
often and doesn't
Yeah.
play in arenas, as you mentioned.
Right.
A little late.
Gonna touch.
No.
We
Just
Gets a little redirect, which is a good thing there. Actually takes some of that draw path away. It's a little short
Kinda
there
sweep
from
it
Blake,
up,
and
get it a little
may see our
closer.
first run back
Take
for
control.
Casper.
Yeah.
And you see Phil Drobnik behind Danny Casper there, our performance director, and Phil's going to watch a lot of curling over the next few months. A ton of time on the road. Actually traveled in with Phil on the same flights, and he's really excited about this upcoming playdown season. A little on the wide side there from Casper, kind of scratching his head a little bit right now.
I like Barry, top 4.
It's something that we see at all curling competitions, Brett, not singular to mixed doubles. This team's struggling a little bit in the first game with getting the lines down, getting the speed down, trying to get comfortable, and whatever level of competition you play at, it's no different. You know, all the teams here, regardless of how experienced they are just trying to find the ice in this first game.
And especially if there is that downhill, uphill tendency with the ice surface here, then, you know, maybe Danny's last shot that went to the back 4 would have been better going in the other direction, right? That would have been the right speed. But this way is a little bit faster, and so he's got to be able to adjust, and he'll learn that over the course of the week.
Trying to carry this one as far as they can and finish at the same time. Line's getting better now.
This is a really good shot.
Yeah, great position. Don't think it quite got to second count, but they didn't want it to over curl on that line either.
You freeze.
But a good spot.
Yeah, I think we.
I mean,
They're gonna have to hit it in this area.
Discard, huh?
if you go, if you make this.
Let's see where it goes.
Okay.
Depends on where the stone
Okay.
ends up. I hate leaving a single stone in there.
I know, I do
So
too.
no, probably not a guard.
I know.
Hear the conversation with
Let's see where this, yeah, they're freezing.
Schweitzer and Hagberg about being concerned about having a lonely stone in there when you don't have the hammer.
I don't know.
They're sitting 1, but Persinger and Casper
We could play,
second and
if
third.
that 3 guard wasn't there, we could play weight at the.
This will be intern freeze attempt from Danny Casper, his final stone of the third end.
Oh, yeah.
It does look like you could sneak around the one in the top 4 and get down to the button. So that shot's there if he can navigate it.
Kind of wicky-wacky.
Plenty of weights. Could get a redirect off that stone, though. Oh, and does. Nice sweep call there by Persinger. Little bit of an oops,
Yeah.
No, we don't need to be in there. Like you said, up here, it's your shot.
Yeah.
but well called.
Light's
That's
good.
always an option with how the rocks were set up.
They don't have anything over here.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they've got this.
Oh,
That's for
boy.
4.
We're still hitting it thicker. It's like, it's not curled the whole way down.
I was looking down. I was like, it looks like it's moving.
What do you like?
That was like back 12.
I got a 13.9.
And now that Yellowstone is a little bit more lonely back there, with Red sitting first, third, and fourth. So they're worried about giving up the big end and trying to.
They've got a shot for 4. I don't love leaving that.
Yeah, trying to take away any shot for a big end.
To come in with another stone.
And Brett, right now, you'd be happy
open up
giving
the double?
one with the way things are set up. So this is a more defensive call for Schweitzer and Hagberg.
But there are also a lot of places that are bad to go in. You know, they're talking about drawing down 2 red shot rock. If they are only a quarter attached to it, that's really bad, right? Because then a nose hit springs both yellows, and that 4 that they're worried about is easily in play. So they have to be really careful with this rock.
Middle deep, a lot of rotation. Come off that yellow, off the left yellow.
Yep.
Worried about this being a little deep.
Whoa.
Trying to come off of their own stone.
Whoa. Yep.
Maybe roll in.
It's got to curl a little bit in order to get the action they were looking for.
That's good.
Does make that in-off a lot more
that's to get
difficult,
it out
though.
of
There
the
was a
ring.
thin in-off that
Or not the ring.
Persinger probably would have
Did the
had.
job.
Yeah, I mean, they've
No,
still
I
got
think
Maybe not too bad a shot.
Get through.
Well, we'll see. They might be
you've
able
seen
to.
it.
We'll see if they're willing to
think,
take the chance, but they could play like a hack waiter.
Yeah, I don't mind like
Just try to touch that red.
Like I was able to move
The
mine.
yellow only has to go back, what, 6
No, I
inches
think
maybe?
that's fine.
And
I
then they
was-
score
I was
3.
gonna say back
Yeah, there
line,
is a
but-
small piece of
Hey,
that
you
red
see?
open.
I can see.
So this
Oh,
is
yeah.
one, yeah,
What do you like?
you're
here?
not playing to keep the shooter here.
Right.
You're just trying to catch what you can see of that red stone. And it would be for
I
3.
got in my head about the last.
Don't
throw a
think
hit.
they can hit it thick enough to have the
last
shooter
one.
catch.
Yeah, so they're talking about board weight.
Yeah,
It's just whatever weight they feel comfortable with the ice they're taking. There's really no right or wrong way. They could throw normal at this if they wanted to. And if they thought confidently, they could get to the, touch that red rock.
You go here.
At least.
What do you think?
Yeah, I like here.
Hey.
Maybe a quarter of that stone, maybe a hair more, showing of the red. Vicky will be throwing to make contact with that for her final stone and a possible 3 for Persinger and Casper.
or maybe an 80th. But it was,
Close. Yep.
Dang.
yeah, it was like back 8.
Whoa. Yep. Hard.
This took a little bit of a turn
Whoa.
at mid-ice, trying to
Whoa.
hold line, but
Yep.
it's very close.
Yep. 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 Really nice.
Oh, just sneaks by, and it will be 3.
red.
That looked
Three,
like
yeah.
it might wreck for a second, but
3 red.
does get by for 3, and Persinger Casper now leading 5-2 over Schweitzer and Hagberg. With the third end break, we talked about Warm Room Hero. More than just software, they're curlers dedicated to building long-term relationships with your club. Warm Room Hero provides continuous support to ensure your website exceeds your members' expectations. Check out Warm Room Hero today at curling.club. That's Warm Room Hero at curling.club. A look around at the other scores from our first draw of competition. Farrell and Thurston, Ryman Smith on sheet A tied at 3. On sheet C, Moores and Wheeler leading Wood and Cott 2-1. And on sheet D, the defending world champions, Corey Teesey, Corey Dropkin, leading Nickel and Nickel 4-0 in the third. Again, our feature game now. Vicky Persinger and Danny Casper. Wonderful shot by Vicky Persinger on her last board weight. Little chip for 3. And now lead Emily Schweitzer and Blake Hagberg 5-2.
Okay.
And Brett, again, for this first game for Emily and Blake, tough pill to swallow when you played a pretty good end. You've played a pretty good game so far, and you're a half an inch away from being down by 1. But instead, that pedigree, as we talked about, of world and Olympic level players like Vicky Persinger and Danny Casper, they get that 3 and lead 5-2.
Okay.
Well, as we saw in the earlier ends, they're capable of scoring 2, right? And scoring 2 gets them right back in the game. Being down 3 in a mixed doubles game is not something to hang your hat on and to feel like you're defeated. There's plenty of opportunity to get back, and they just have to put a good end together here, score a couple points, and they'll be right back in it.
You saw once again
three's the top one.
Vicky Persinger's first coming up a little short. This even end coming back towards the glass. Both teams have been coming up short on draws. We may be seeing that difference in speed going back towards the boards as opposed to going away.
Can we get all the way to it?
I just think it moves a little better this way, but
Maybe it's slowing down, I don't know.
we can try this, Danny.
Okay.
I might be
Casper playing the in-turn draw around these.
down here with a 415.
And Brett, we talked here in the club and a little bit here on the broadcast about Traverse City hosting this event, only being open here with their new club a year ago January, and already with a national level event. Talk about the decision from USA Curling to have this national championship hosted in such a new club and what that process was like working with it.
Back 4.
Traverse City's been fantastic to work with. They actually made commitments to the funders, to the community, when they were building this curling center, that they were going to be bringing national championships. And they decided, they put their hand up right away and said, yeah, we want to do it immediately. And so we said, yeah, great. Well, let's bring mixed doubles. I think we're going to be bringing other championships in the next couple years. I hear maybe seniors next year. So the Traverse City Curling Club is stepping up, and what we've tried to do just in the last couple of years, Dean and I have really put a priority on giving the clubs a better experience working with USA Curling to host these events, making sure it's a win-win for both the club and the national organization. And we're trying to also plan further out. So we just put out a call on social media and to the clubs to say, hey, we want championships out 26, 27, even 2028, and give both the clubs and USA Curling the chance to put on a really great event.
Nice draw there by Hagberg to get to the button. Really good position now for Schweitzer and Hagberg.
Could just pick it.
But I think that means a lot to the clubs too, Brett. That's
whatever you're seeing.
Communication and the support from the national governing body is there, and they feel like they're doing these events jointly with USA Curling, as opposed to agreeing to host it and being on an island where they don't know that they have that type of backup from the organization. I think that vibe and that relationship is changing drastically over the last couple of years, and that's a great thing for the ability to host events at this caliber of an arena and a city.
But even if it isn't mixed doubles, right? One of the premier events that USA Curling hosts, every single event, we want to make sure that the staff is on site and supporting the event directly, as opposed to, in the past, it was just, hey, you're going to host, good luck.
Good shot there by Casper to peel out that stone, but really good setup right now for Schweitzer and Hagberg. Sitting one, a chance to lob another one around for Hagberg and maybe get another crooked number on the board. I don't even want to say get back in this game in mixed doubles, because men's and women's, we might say 3-point deficit. Okay, it's getting a little steep, but doubles, you can get back in with a 3 just about at any time. So.
And the good news for Blake is he just threw this shot.
Yep,
and if he threw the exact same shot he did just one shot ago, he's going to be in great shape.
Where is
this
it?
one seems to be hanging out a little bit.
Never.
Looks like it's going to be close to tee, but line not coming up as much.
Okay.
So ends up in the back, and that'll leave opportunity now for
I think we just draw.
Casper.
Stable on
It's
that one.
a,
Draw
different
with
looking
backing.
slide.
Yeah. I didn't want to give him a hit and roll in. I don't know.
You heard Hagberg talk about his slide there. Accountability is so important in curling too. You're not going to slide perfect every time. You're not going to throw the rock perfect every time. But understanding why you missed a shot the way you did and talking about that with your teammate, so important for getting it right the next time. So as much as it might be difficult to say, yeah, I slid really bad there, it's good that you know that. So now for the next shot, yeah, the broom was in the right spot. We don't have to change anything with that. We just have to throw it a little better.
Well, Danny's got a great 2 rocks with backing to get to. Threw it well.
Right to it.
And,
Tap it. Tap it a little.
Yeah.
Really, the only
Not the
option
same
is
way.
for them to try to draw to it and maybe tap it back a little so they can sit shot. Because that rock's not going anywhere.
Yeah, a little missed opportunity there to come deep. Again, the miss there would be short,
She
but
played an event.
just
She played
ended
an
up a little
event
bit
in
deep.
Beijing, and I think that was it.
Outturn freeze attempt for Hagberg. Again, same path, so he's thrown 3 this
Line's
end,
good.
Yeah.
close to the same
Even
line.
if he freezes on the inside of it, we can smash
Line's
it.
definitely a little
And it'll
tighter
drag
than his
him
last
back
one,
on.
which is good.
Close.
Heard back
Yep.
4 on the read. This may
I think
curl a
it's
little
Yep,
bit more and
line.
lose a little more speed with it
Well-
being a tighter line too.
Bounce at all, or-
Still needs to finish though. Bumps it behind the tee.
Good shot.
Red still sitting
Yeah,
one.
Killing us.
Where are you thinking of taking? Like middle
Ooh, good save.
edge of the paint?
I'd rather show them the inside of that rock.
Yeah.
Oh, edge of 8.
Huh? Oh, I was gonna say. I was thinking maybe a little more like.
Okay. How much more? I mean, the rook is very. If we're
Yeah.
running out of room, if it's a guard, I don't think it's going to curl a ton.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I can probably keep it out straight, really too, if we need.
I think so. I'd rather not. We're never going to do
This is an example of great communication between teammates. I mean, these two have been talking the whole time. They're talking about exactly what they think they can do, what the lines are doing. I mean, this is a master class already of people who don't
1,
play
2.
together that often. But because of great communication, because they're both great shot throwers, they're going to make a good team this week.
Yeah, they were talking about what they can
It's
show
over.
their opponents if they're going to show either side. And they said, we can show the inside of the stone. That doesn't leave them anything. We just have to take the outside away, and that's where that guard ends up. You can see there's a port there, but I'm not sure they can do a lot with it. Maybe he could come through there
Maybe
and cross
you
it
could
a
come
little
through
bit.
and cross it, yeah.
I'm gonna go see Mike.
Okay.
They have the other whole side to draw to as well.
Heard Danny Casper saying, I'm going to go see Mike. That would be USA Curling's trainer. So not sure exactly what Danny's dealing with, but some kind of little injury issue, and we'll have to keep tabs there. Maybe we can get a sideline reporter to go run out and just pull somebody out of the bleachers and check on Danny. Final stone of the first half of this first game.
One solid ad.
Emily Schweitzer throwing the outturn draw.
I
Haven't
don't
played
blame
up.
them for taking the open draw. I mean, this is definitely the easier shot. It's just a matter
Mine's
they just need to make it perfect, and
Yep, get it there.
Yeah, it looks
line-wise,
really
it
nice.
looks really good.
Just got to get there. Oh, perfect line, but just ends up a little bit short. So will be a steal of 1. Persinger Casper will lead 6-2 over Schweitzer and Hagberg at the
Sweep if
break.
I
And
know.
with the fourth end break, we are halfway through. And it's time for the Broom Fitters break. Broomfitters.com is the place for good curling gear and fast shipping on everything curling. For a limited time, take 10% off your first order with the code USA. Visit broomfitters.com. Another look at our scores now at this fourth end break. Farrell, Thurston, Rhyme, Smith, 3-3 on sheet A. Sheet C, Moores and Wheeler now up 3-1 on Wood and Cotton the fourth. And sheet D, our world champions, TC and Dropkin now 6-0 over Nickel and Nickel.
Yeah, I'm thinking play this one more with normal, and then try to generate some offense. And
Well, I mean, if the goal is to score now.
Alaska Native Corporation.
All right, for the fourth end break here, we're joined by Lowell Grumman. He is the treasurer of the Traverse City Curling Club and one of the key finance people in putting this event, or not just the event, but the facility together. Lowell, tell us, what does this having this national championship mean to you?
Well, Brett, thanks for that question. We're first of all, we're grateful that U.S. Curling is here. It was one of our dreams when we initially set out on this adventure. But to have the tournament here is a validation of everything that we hoped and dreamed for. Not only to have you all here and have these world-class athletes competing on our ice, but as a message to our own club and our community that we've got ice that's worthy of curling on and participating in. The visibility that it gives us is just tremendous. We're so grateful that you've decided to come and join us.
So I think the Traverse City area has really embraced the club in this event. Talk about what building a curling community has taken over the past couple of years.
Well, we started this, Brad, during the pandemic, which were dark days for everyone. And I think it would be appropriate to say that the pandemic gave us some momentum, because this was a community activity that could be done as we were coming out of the pandemic. It was something that it was basically outdoors. It was accessible. It was something that was attractive in the off season here in Traverse City. But our community really took to it, and we've went from 120 members 3 years ago, and we now have over 450, and our goal is 600. We're getting there deliberately, but we're just thrilled at the amount of participation we've got from the community.
Well, thanks for talking with us for a couple minutes. It looks like the game's going to get back started. Thanks again for hosting this national championship.
You're very welcome, and thank you, Brett.
Quite a bit. Like a good bit. Yep,
All
keep
right.
going.
Look from between the hacks.
I can't see from your foot. Your foot's in the way.
Move your foot.
Move your foot. He's a lefty, so he's
little
looking
more.
from this hack. So you want to look from
Look
between.
from between the
Other
hacks.
side of the rings.
Hold on. I think that's fine.
Okay. I'm a lefty. Don't leave me
You
out.
can't use the power play. Yeah.
I'm a lefty.
Here in the
forgot about
conversation here, starting the fifth end.
Middle of the hat.
Perfect.
Our first power play here in action.
Nice to
Each
have it
team
aware.
Lefties
gets to move the rocks to the corner, the edge of the 8 foot.
Where's Susie?
That rock just above the tee line. Once per game for each team.
White claw power
Hagberg and
play.
Schweitzer using theirs.
Susie.
Now down by 4, starting the fifth end.
we
Is
go?
the fifth end of
We
our
didn't see a white clock. Did we go or?
first
I
draw
mean, our clocks
of
aren't
competition
running
for this 2024 USA Curling Mixed
Yeah.
Doubles National Championship. Tyler George here with USA Curling
Yeah, I think
Chair of the Board, Brett Jackson.
You didn't move.
Brett,
them
first
on.
game of action for
They didn't go
Schweitzer and
very far.
Hagberg in any
And,
nationals
might be a little fresh.
for them for USA Curling competitions and really not playing too poorly. Been right in this game. You're really talking a difference of 1 shot with Persinger's board weight shot for 3
It's a little good weight.
in the third, but been a very competitive game so far.
A little heavy. Gotta go.
Yeah, curling's always talked about as a game of inches, and they're just a little bit on the wrong side of the inch so far. But they're playing well. They're smiling, and so they appear to be having fun, and that I think will make their first nationals a really good experience.
We heard Vicky
same
Persinger
side?
doing
Just
our job
replace
for
it?
us there, saying it's always faster after the mop.
Yeah.
So that referring to after the break when they run the mop over the ice to pick up any debris. And that little break, the ice does tend to be a little bit faster. John Landsteiner watching at home, keep that in mind.
Got a curl.
And Vicky calling that out, so her teammate maybe Danny Casper gets that reminder
Line's
too.
good. Line's good.
I don't know if you watch the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, but how many times teams came out of the break and didn't pick up on the fact that it was a little faster always astounds me. I mean, these are, borderline professional curlers, and this is something you should know, definitely by the, second game you play in a national championship.
Yeah.
That mistake is made at every level.
Kind of what
For
I'm
as long
thinking.
as I've been a curler, I can remember that happening in these national competitions. You did see that first shot of the end, though, by Vicky. Really nice, as they can't take that rock out of play. They can only move it from where it was. They'd rather that rock is in the house than be a guard, and it's their own stone. So a really nice, I'd say, hack weight
Yeah, it's a
chip
little
on
heavy.
that stone and
Should
roll
come
open.
down in the middle, though. T-line.
So this stone will be the final one before you can take rocks out of play
Just
in
leave it.
Persinger Casper with the lead
like
they
T.
have. Will likely be hitting something after this, so having that guard moved and that yellow stone partially open now. Much better situation, but throwing their own in the house as a defensive
the other
play.
one was my thought. We can do
I
that.
like this run.
I kind of like the
that too.
rollover.
Yeah.
Do you like this run and roll it to center? If you just feel it.
Line.
I definitely like the call of getting rid of this red
I was
rock.
thinking like out turn.
I don't know if you have to go so hard to roll towards the other red. I almost like trying to go under your guard and at least, setting up for a big end. You have to get 2 or 3 points here in order to make the power play work.
Handle.
Yep.
And
Whoa.
trying to make it the easy shot
A little more.
is usually a little bit better
Sorry.
than trying to make something tremendously difficult.
Jump the sweep there on the call, thinking that was going to be a little bit narrow, but ends up
I jumped it.
nose.
Sorry.
Maybe
Can you make the double?
either thin double or hit and roll.
Okay.
We were never rolling out, though. We always.
Because the double would go kind of in.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, you like the out turn?
Okay, but I'd rather nose than over.
I was thinking
Okay.
the other turn initially, but.
And that's the first time we've seen, maybe I missed one earlier, getting up to chase a hit. I
Little
think
heavy.
with the runbacks earlier, they may have just let it go, but Blake getting up and having to sweep his own stone on a normal weight hit. Again, a very awkward thing to do in a curling game.
With a Teflon slider on your foot, especially.
A really nice shot there by
God, I'm good.
Casper.
You're good. 10-9.
Don't think I can get to nose.
Oh.
I thought it was heavy.
I can run the
A nice
yellow
roll
in.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that red rock is in great
But I just
position
set up the
now.
double,
There's really
right?
nowhere you can take it without it jamming
Yeah.
on the yellow, unless you're running the guard. And this is a much
We leave
lower
that for
percentage
later.
shot.
Let's just hit shot
Curl,
rock.
like curl to get him out. I liked how I threw it.
I really liked how you threw it, and I thought it would run truer. Like,
Wondering, Brett, about the personality
freeze.
mix with Danny and
You like
Vicky
to
coming
freeze?
in, and they both
On this one.
they like to joke around during games.
I wonder, 'cause
Vicky
that
can
was
definitely
the
be a little
center
more
line
serious,
Yeah.
but
immediately,
they seem
right?
to have a good rapport going
I
back
wonder
and
how long
forth
it'll
with
hold on the center
being
line.
able to keep things loose and have a little fun. You heard Danny there
Right,
saying,
like,
"God, I'm
seriously.
good," and Vicky saying, "You are good," after he made
Even
that
if I
shot.
just threw it on the center line, because what your
So it
broom
looks
is
like a good mix for those two so far.
I think what I've
River was
learned
what,
from
like
the
here?
men's and women's nationals and the now mixed doubles, Danny's just great to have on the mic. We just
I
want,
can
we
speak
want
to
more,
that for men's, yeah.
We want more Danny mic'd up during games. He's fantastic.
Yeah, him playfully telling Chris Plaz to shut his mouth after he made a shot was probably my favorite moment of the entire Nationals out in New Jersey. As both guys were laughing as it was happening, it was very
Is
good
it
natured.
better to like roll out?
Never mind that it was the semifinals of the national championships when it happened too. Well, that freeze a little bit heavy from Hagberg and bounces off, so now open hit to sit 3 for Persinger, Casper, and Brett. This is curling 101, mixed doubles 101, and how to defend against the power play. Make that chip on the corner guard and then make some kind of hit and roll or run, and now set up to sit 3.
But they're also making these shots perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, the first hit that Danny had could have rolled more and not been second shot and not been on that great angle. I mean, just the execution's fantastic.
Was that heavier? Felt heavy.
Yeah, 9-9.
Okay.
Second more.
That's like the part that I'm really struggling with, weight judgment wise, is those. Like I knew it was more. Did you hear me? Like, but I'm struggling to be more specific than that.
Now Hagberg's final stone. Looks like they're playing a thin double to try to at least give themselves a chance to bring that other rock into play. Could also be just a soft hit and roll in front of the other stone. Tough to tell from where the room was.
They were trying to roll.
And they were trying to just roll in front of it. Over curls just a touch.
Yeah.
So pretty straightforward call now, just to nose this.
Yeah, if you roll out, that's fine, but
red
call it
stone.
to sit there. Right.
Brett, it'll be kind of a tough score here for Schweitzer and Hagberg if they hit this on the nose.
Right on the nose. Really would have to draw into the 4-foot to get your point. You'll have the whole 4-foot to draw to if Vicky hits this right on the nose, but
I think you take what?
you're putting pressure on the other team if you can make this shot good.
Brush strokes in. I thought it was going to hit where it was going to hit at that point. Looked like we were already on nose.
Final stone of the 5th end for Persinger and Casper.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Clean. Yep.
This is crossing the face a little bit, but a good shot, and yeah, still doesn't look like nose will be good. And now there's no double either if they were thinking about playing it. So it's either the draw or the hit and roll. We'll see what they pick here.
I think that weight was good.
Good.
That's good.
Looks like they're electing for the draw.
I think the weight was like a 10.
You know, in doubles, you play the draw so often.
I don't think it was
Most teams have this shot in their pocket. So, you know, in a national championship, obviously the nerves can get in the way. But generally, you know, this is a layup.
You heard Emily say too, and this factors into the decision. Says just haven't thrown many hits, and she paused, said any hits. So yeah, if you've thrown all draws so far, it's a good idea if you have one or the other to choose from. Play the one you've played. So her final stone of this 5th end, trying to get their single point, stay in this matchup
Add it a little.
against 3 red counters.
Yep.
Heard help immediately from Hagberg, thinking that this needs to go. Can they carry this rock all the way to the 4-foot?
It's close.
That looks really good. Needs to hit the brakes.
Stop it.
Well, I don't know if that hung on or not. Might be 1 red, so sweeping was a little too effective. Looking at it closer.
Doesn't look like right.
Oh, we might see our first measure of the game.
Only took 1 game to get a measure already.
Sure.
All right, based on the reactions, I got to make my first read of the competition. We're going to go with yellow.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
They both seem to agree. Now I want him to measure because I want to be right out of the gates. Don't kick it out, guys. So all 4 players saying yellow. So commentators saying yellow. It must be red, right?
That's right.
I don't know where I'm supposed to stand. I think so. I like the power play.
Do you wanna?
So we do have our first measurement of this competition. 6-2 game. Schweitzer and Hagberg hoping to get this single and cut it to a 3-point deficit. For those unfamiliar, there's a pressure gauge that this needle that sticks down and touches the edge of the stone is used to determine which is closer to the center. And it is indeed yellow, as everybody suspected, and I'm taking the 1-0 start. So Persinger and Casper lead 6-3 after 5 ends of play. Other games again for this first round of action. Farrell and Thurston now leading Ryman Smith on sheet A 4-3 in the 5th. Sheet C, Moores and Wheeler 4-1 in the 5th end over Wood and Cott. And sheet D, after a 6-0 start, Nickel and Nickel take 4 to cut that deficit to 6-4 against TC and Dropkin. So that one getting a lot more interesting. Power play being used to start the 6th end of action for Persinger and Casper.
94, close.
Emily Schweitzer throwing a center guard, I would expect
Still
to
on the
start this
corner.
end. Maybe coming into the house. Will be coming into 4-foot area. Again, can't remove that stone, so not a bad start. Good spot to have.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
You want to sweep mine?
Cool.
I was kind of thinking this turn.
Okay, I'm just gonna come down for this one.
Okay.
Then I'll come down after.
Sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Are you out?
Yep.
And Brett, with this 6-3 lead for Persinger and Casper in the 6th end of play, even though they're using the power play, does that affect how you use the power play as opposed to if you were in a tie game or behind? Are they going to play this a little more defensively than they would with the power play in action?
Yeah, they're definitely playing this more defensively. They want to make sure that they can score in this end no matter what, maintain a lead, and really keep control of the game. They don't want to, like this, for instance, to come up short and to provide a guard for the other team to come behind. They want to be the aggressors, and what a great freeze to start off the end.
Really good, yeah. That's so important to get that position, even without the center guard there for mixed doubles, to have
Wait's
that
good.
top 4-foot
Wait's
position
good.
here.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
We hit.
Start blowing up the house?
You're to it.
I think from here on out, Danny's just going to want to try to keep the front clear.
Yep.
And
Yep.
give Vicky an opportunity to make something happen. Maybe even a shot for two at the end of the end here.
Yeah, you heard Peel the call here for Casper. Just trying to keep things open. And as things stand right now, very difficult for Schweitzer and Hagberg to steal more than 1 point with simple execution from Persinger and Casper, just because of that freeze that was made by Vicky on her first.
Danny's got to throw these well because they're electing to not have a sweeper for these types of shots. So execution is really key. You're really getting back to the fundamentals and just throwing a good rock.
Yeah, the good thing with Peels, Brett, is you're not affecting the line too much with sweeping regardless. A peel is a shot that you let it go. There's very few factors between the release and contact that are going to change the line. So those shots are made, as you said, pretty much out of hand. So the need to get up and chase it, thankfully, because it's moving that fast, is much lesser than a finesse shot.
I'd rather not leave the right side.
So just throw it really good. You don't have to worry about sweeping it.
Yeah. You have to remember, though, you know, he's used to having Ben Richardson and Luke Violette right in front of him, being able to control any shot that he throws and make them good.
Oh, yeah. 2.
Yeah, I can speak to playing doubles after playing men's that you feel very lonely and isolated out there when there's nobody around you throwing it. Nobody to, and you still say things that you would normally say to your sweepers out of reflex. Oh, I added a little bit there. But there's nobody there to hear.
There's nobody there to hear. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
I gotta do my peel again.
Just good enough on the guard there as they left the right side of the red stone open. Good guard by Hagberg.
Will you come down here?
Yeah.
Casper throwing another peel. Well made again. You heard Vicky say she wants to have a little chat, talk about what they're going to do next.
I think we got to make a play on this next one.
Yeah, I was hoping that
Probably nothing more than the same for Hagberg throwing the guard again.
Do you like going a little tighter, a little closer?
Yeah, to
Top
the
8?
left, yeah.
Yeah.
So you think if he guards
And they're really executing well right now too, Brett. Regardless of the outcome of the game, it's important for a rookie team in this competition to take positives, and they've put together some good ends and executed rock placement pretty well.
I've actually liked how they've shown a little bit of the red rock and not tried to cover either one, frankly, so that they have the opportunity to make a play on them later in the end.
This one going to end up in the house. So this might give...
It's actually a really good spot. It's going to be really hard for Danny if he was going to try to make a play in the house.
It's not bad.
No, but it's
It's better to peel it than be tight, right?
Yes.
So I mean, he's got to make a really great, precise shot to get rid of both yellows here.
It's about 3/4 of that top Yellowstone on the high side.
This shot,
On the left side of it from this far angle. And both yellows will go, so big shot here for Casper. In turn, run back, double attempt for Danny.
Looks like he popped it out just a little bit.
Ends up sticking it, so not a good result there for Persinger and Casper. Leaving that rock there serves as a guard.
They've
So
got that again.
Yeah.
For 2. This is good.
Not ideal.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
hey, you have a couple options here, Brett.
Yeah.
You can just straight guard,
Half is okay.
and the best you can do is steal one. But if you could ever draw to the back of the forefoot and kind of leave a little Christmas tree with
Well, it depends where
the
we
2
tap.
yellow stones,
Great on no.
it's kind of a tricky little shot
We don't have no.
to score 1 and awfully risky to play the run back because it's against 2. So getting a second counter here, I think, even if you showed him half around your own, it's a difficult spot to throw to, but down by 3, it might be a chance you have to take.
Yeah, I like top 8.
Yeah, I agree with you. And even I think if they were to their rock, and yeah, it's a short run, but
I think
man,
so. On my turn.
Vicky'd have to make it perfect.
It sounds like they're just throwing it to top 8 foot, so they are trying to get a piece underneath the red stone that Casper just threw. But that makes that run back really, really short.
Yeah, I did that.
93, we'll add.
Light handle.
Okay.
But if they just tuck a corner under the red, then the run back double is gone, right?
Yeah,
And so then it forces Vicky to draw for a single.
Well, this looks deeper. I like where this is going now.
Yeah, no, this is lined up nice.
Boy, that's really good. That's a great shot. I don't know if they were playing it to the top 8 or not. Let's say they were playing the back 4.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly the spot we were talking about throwing it to. And all right, we did hear them say good audible, so we got to call them out for it. But really good read. Halfway down the sheet saying, okay, this is where the weight's at. Let's take this around. And that's a perfect spot.
Again, we talked about good communication with Danny and Vicky. Great communication right there with Blake as the rock's coming down the ice.
The out-turn pick, too. You want me to sweep or?
So they are playing the run back, and now again, because that went to the back 4, this run it's a longer one with space that you could steal too. And it wouldn't take a big miss to get that too either, with 4 or 5 feet between those stones.
I'm actually surprised that Vicky's just not playing the draw here, right? They've got backing. It's a draw that they, would have practiced coming into the event.
Never thought about the fact that they were running our
And so playing the run back and risking giving up 2.
Hey, that worked out well.
How'd that get there?
Persinger's final stone.
I know, it's like,
Playing
oh,
this
man,
run
that
back.
stone's gone. Wait, that's in a nice spot.
Oh, it looks like she might be playing
They
the draw.
They changed their mind in the hack. So it is the draw.
Draw. Draw to the pen.
But again, that's your ideal situation if you're Hagberg and Schweitzer, because this is the same draw
This is a
she'd be
force.
throwing anyways, but now it's against 2, even though there's a little backing, and this is skating right now. I don't think this is going to get to the backing. Well, that's going to be a steal of 2 for Schweitzer and Hagberg, and
We
all
have
of a
a game.
sudden, 6-5.
Yes.
After the 6th end to play, just a 1-point deficit.
Good end.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
Spinning around the other sheets again, Ryman Smith now leading Farrell and Thurston 6-4 in the 6th end on sheet A. Sheet C, the Battle of Colorado. Claire Moores and Lance Wheeler now leading 7-1 over Wood and Cott. And sheet E, TC and Dropkin bounce back with a 3 after giving up that 4 to lead Nickel and Nickel 9-4 in the 6th end. And on our feature sheet again, starting the 7th end, big turn of events in the 6th with that steal of 2 by Hagberg and Schweitzer, now trailing by only 1 against Casper and Persinger, 6-5. Both teams now have used their power plays, so it'll just be standard mixed doubles curling the rest of the way. Emily Schweitzer throwing in-turn draw. This one has plenty of weight again, maybe a little faster. in the odd ends going down, and that one goes right to the back
Alright.
of the 12-foot. So
Yeah, it was a little more release. Than
Yeah.
I mean, you
It
just
looked
threw
like
this
you-
side.
I mean, it
That-
could
Be a little of excitement too
Yeah.
after stealing two, a little hyped
they're
up,
more
you know.
handled than
Okay.
my last.
adrenaline certainly can
terms
be a
of
factor
fine, so it's
in this
just
game.
Yeah.
The slot. I mean, you're 84 versus 93.
That's why I kind of want to block it.
Your 93 was, back forward sweeping.
Either way.
Okay.
Brett, the designs on the house for the
Adrenaline, I
advertisements and the different
Oh,
colors,
wow.
things like that, the
Had to
different
stop after
patterns.
that.
Did you like that as a player? Like something different, or did it ever like bother you just looking at it saying, I just want block colors like I'm used
I
to,
didn't notice it.
traditional or anything like that?
No, actually, as a skip, I really like this particular house with the Tom's Market and all the lettering on there, because I can put a broom precisely in a place and be able to remember
Reference points.
reference
sure.
points. Yeah, and so and communicating that to my vice. Too, to say, hey, listen, if we put it on this part of the M, was better than this part of the M for this particular shot.
Lock a good one on.
Really short there from Persinger after maybe an over adjustment
Yeah.
with her
'cause I didn't
last
have to
draw on the
sweep it.
previous end. That ends up
High guard, right?
way
Yeah.
short of the house. So
Pretty
opportunity
good.
Right
You
on the
got
back
this.
four, yep.
You know
for
the way.
Hagberg and Schweitzer. Things tightening up a little bit in this game now. I don't think that Persinger and
10. I think it's a
Casper
little
were
up.
expecting to be only up one using their power play in the 6 with a 3-point lead.
Wait only. Yep. Yep. Whoa.
Big
Yeah, it's fine.
intern draw now from Hagberg. This looks
Just
good for
line.
line. It's all the way to that stone, probably tapping a little bit. But a good result, good position.
Good.
Anytime you're sitting on part of the button,
Shot rack.
you're in a good
Okay.
spot.
And Casper would
you
be
make
able to
the
peel now if
double
they
peel?
chose.
410, okay. Did I give it an ad?
'Kay.
I might have. I don't remember. In terms of times? Okay.
They are going to play the draw first. And the pin is open, Brett, meaning the absolute center of the button.
I go on my toe, which
So if they make the freeze, they don't have to move that stone to get shot. But this is a very important draw now for Danny Casper.
Okay, weight's good.
Wait only.
T, back 4. Gotta curve. No, it's heavy.
Trying to get it to turn over as saying it's a little heavy. Does move that stone off the button, but rolls to back 4, so better than it was, certainly for
You right now.
Casper and Persinger.
Yeah.
I think it looks like red might be even sitting 2, which may not end up happening later in the end, but it can creep into the minds
let's lock it
when
on
you're
this
throwing
side.
and you're
I like this.
staring at those and saying, hey, I really have to make a good shot here.
Same weight.
So switching sides now, playing the out-turn draw for
Feels
Hagberg.
light.
You're
Feels
nice.
less.
Like,
Plenty of weight.
the yellow should hit his.
They like the weight. It's like they're trying to,
I think they're now playing to the backing.
yeah, trying to chip and maybe sit in front of both. Rolls over. That's not a bad spot.
All right. Yeah.
Tough to remove and shot rock.
What?
So that they moved it.
And a
What's that?
A score
know
of
they moved
1
the back.
The back
for
set stone?
Persinger
Yeah, I
and
mean, yeah, that's
Casper,
why I
Brett,
was-
is not a bad result
moved it.
for Hagberg
Yeah.
and Schweitzer.
forgot.
Steel would be better with
Like, I
mixed
thought we could
doubles
come down
curling.
to it.
Like the men's and women's side, you might look at it and say with 5-rock rule
And be
and
shot.
no tick, the
That's why I like
down
last
by
second,
2
like,
width
oh,
is a
we
better
got
situation than
close, right?
tied up.
Had to bounce
But
the outer one.
stealing in mixed doubles curling is not unusual at all. So this setup now, I mean, if they can steal, great, but even a force of 1 is not terrible.
A force is really good right now. Would make them feel good going into the last 2 ends.
It seems as though Schweitzer and Hagberg are very comfortable right now, too. Even the last few shots, the communication is the same tone, the same energy as it's been the entire game. They don't look like they're getting too nervy in this situation. Impressed with how they're handling themselves here.
I certainly haven't played them in a national championship, but I have played them earlier this year in mixed doubles. And they were pretty even keel throughout the game. They didn't seem to get flustered when things didn't go their way. And so I expected them to carry that through to this championship, and so far, so good.
Casper getting this to curl. It's going to be behind the tee line again.
Same shot.
It's a pretty good shot,
Right on
but
top.
boy,
But the pin is still there.
the freeze now is a really good shot.
Yeah, if you can freeze this right on the nose of that red,
Okay.
it's really going to be hard to remove and sets up yellow for a steal.
Sure, do you think he's good at that?
Shot that Hagberg just played. Out turn draw.
Obviously, he's going to try to take a couple feet off this one, right from the last, because the last
Gotta be
was
less than the last
easily back
It
8.
is.
And definitely a little more line, looks like, too.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't put as much handle on as he did
Curl, I think.
with the earlier shot. This is really close.
It just needs to curl a little bit to get to pin if the weight's there. Oh, that's great. Look at that shot. Great shot by Hagberg.
We just blast
Well
it here?
swept.
I
Things
keep
getting
guessing
interesting
with the low
here.
highs and high fives.
Yeah.
I usually go for high.
That time you went low.
Yeah, I think we have to, right?
We're going for the pick, I think. Wish I didn't bounce it a little. But that's okay.
Pretty close to frozen, huh?
Well, if Danny was a left-hander like Blake, the shot wouldn't be there.
They can pick
But Danny will be able to see a little bit of it. Again, without sweepers, this is a really hard shot.
Yeah,
With
I
it.
mean, the red on the back.
Yeah, you
button
heard
is
Hagberg say that he wish it hadn't bounced because they're playing the pick. I think it'd be worse if it was frozen for the shot that they're playing because it'll drag to that back yellow stone too. So the separation actually isn't a bad thing for this shot. Casper throwing the in-turn peel, ends up wrecking the guard. So, Brett, do you think about coming in with maybe a little tap to try to sit 2 now
Get in there.
with that 1-point deficit?
Yeah, I mean, we
I
can get
certainly
two here,
would.
So their only play really
The
to
miss
pick it,
is
I think.
obviously light, right?
So,
Yeah.
Guarding,
this line.
getting yourself in a good position to steal is great. But I agree with you. If you can
Okay.
try to steal here, go do
A
it.
little more than my draw.
Steal
A
2.
little more than my normal draw line.
Line, yeah.
Yeah, I
We
would
can
say
do a
if
1, 2, or a 3.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's the
1 or
best shot
2, yeah.
regardless.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Just
in
because
much
of the way
less
the angles are set up.
weight.
And you have a great chance of stealing 1 by throwing this anywhere short on this line. There's no question. But with the scoreboard as it is, if you could steal that point right now, you don't need to do it again.
Like here.
So if you know you have to steal again anyways, you have to treat this shot like it's already the last end, right? And try to come right in there for a second point. So a little bit more conservative on the call. Trying to make sure of their 1. Emily Schweitzer throwing the in-turn.
It looks like she's
3.
got weight to come into the house.
I heard the call of 3 from Hagberg. He thinks it's close to tight guard.
Curl!
3, 2, 3,
Curl!
3.
Huh?
Curl!
Yeah. Try it with 4.
Hard!
It's coming
That's
into maybe top 12, close to it.
I think I'll sweep.
Okay.
It's for the line they played, that's a good shot. There's no run with it because of the way they're staggered now, too.
I mean, it's just
Probably space like that. This is tough.
And Tyler, here's another reason why you want to try to go as deep as you could with this shot is that Vicky's going to play a downweight shot, but still like maybe hack to try to chip that yellow one out, which wouldn't be available if you were, right down to it.
Just to, cover my bases.
You think that's close ice?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And this is one you need to walk down to. Maybe have a little deader handle so it's not spinning as much. If you have to sweep it to get by, you're straightening the line and hurting the finish. So it has to be one that's kind of walking sideways once it gets by the guard.
This is one of the harder shots in curling.
Extremely
Try to
difficult
chip
shot.
out a rock that is overburied,
If you can make it.
with just, maybe hack the back line.
Closer to board.
Whoa.
Persinger with this out-turn chip attempt. Has to get so close to the guard to make it.
Curl.
Now needs to finish. Will it get there? Doesn't quite.
He
saw
chipped hers
Shulman-
out and almost gave up a steal of 2.
Very close there, but does end up being a steal of at least 1. They're going to take another look to make sure, but they agree. So it is 1, and we're tied up 6-6 going to the final end of action.
See if just a hair hot.
Yeah, yeah.
here at the 7th end break. USA Curling would like to take this moment to thank the curling community for supporting the sport and the national organization, whether it's through your membership, donations, or volunteer hours that help our game grow. Your support makes many of our efforts possible, whether it's the webcast coverage you're enjoying right now, the Our House content platform, certification programs for instructors and officials, or the Athlete Outreach Initiative. On behalf of USA Curling, thank you for all that you do. Look around the sheets at our other games of this first draw. Rhyme Smith leading Farrell and Thurston 6-4 in the 6th. On sheet C, Moores and Wheeler 7-1 over Woodcott. And sheet D, still 6th in there. TC and Dropkin 9-4 over Nickel and Nickel. And our feature game here on sheet C, after a steal of 2 in the 6th and a steal of 1 in the 7th. In their debut game at the National Championships, Blake Hagberg and Emily Schweitzer tied now with Danny Casper and Vicky Persinger. 6-6 final end of action. Tyler George here on the call with USA Curling Chair of the Board, Brett Jackson. And Brett, we got a barn burner. All of a sudden, it's looking like the veterans were going to pull away. I know it's strange to call Danny Casper a veteran in any sense. But now 6-6 after this great comeback by Schweitzer and Hagberg.
Yeah, you know, you can never give up in mixed doubles because the tables can turn so quickly, as they've done here. I think we're set up for a great finish, and really excited that we've got such a great game to start this tournament off.
Like, do you not like the outturn draw here?
Sure.
I also want to take a second to thank the folks at Curling Stadium for all their coverage of this event. John Benton, Rory McCusker here in the booth with us. Tyler George, thanks for commentating all week. We're really excited to bring not just the feature game, but all the sheets of curling that are happening right now to everyone who wants to pick whatever game they want to watch.
Didn't curl as much.
See, when you thank us in the first draw, I mean, everything's been great tonight, but now we got to be great the rest of the week, too, so you're putting the pressure on.
That's
I
right.
see where we're
I have
going.
high expectations.
Well, we appreciate it, Brett, and thanks for joining us in the booth here, too. So Schweitzer's first stone ends up on the top of the 12-foot, not a terrible position, something that you can use. Now Vicky Persinger's first. This is going to come right into the top of the 4-foot. Very good position from Vic.
We got to tap them. No, let's tap the reds. Yeah.
Okay.
Say this end is probably more of a traditional beginning of a mixed doubles game than we've seen actually in all the other 7 ends.
Back line.
Yeah, I think so.
This is a typical placement for where some rocks end up. The misses being light on the team without hammer. The other team with hammers trying to get that center line, if they have it available to them, get one on the top and the bottom of the 4-foot. So really good setup here, actually, by both teams.
And I think it's more of a traditional curling game now, too. With it being the final end, there's one specific outcome that both teams are looking for. And this one, heavy and wide from Hagberg. And just juiced that up a little bit and ends up going right by. So it's probably something where you want to keep things open now. We'll listen in for Vicky and Danny.
I think it's just a straight peel.
Okay. Do you care about turn? You threw this one a lot.
I think this way.
Both teams have been playing with pretty good pace. I don't think either one of them is real short on time. Not much urgency.
For those that obviously are not here in the building, the timers are on they're in the middle of the sheets on the side. So
which
all
is
the
very
clocks,
different from
which
what
is
you normally
very
would
clocks
have,
what
yeah.
you normally would have. Normally you'd have a clock on one of the ends of the sheet. These clocks are in the middle of the arena, which is where the timers are located.
See the peel there from Casper, just trying to open things up, take away any steal opportunity. And there you see the clocks.
We could play the
3:37 remaining for Persinger Casper, 4:18 and counting for Schweitzer and Hagberg.
I don't mind leaving it back 4,
that's
back 8.
plenty of time for mixed doubles.
It helps us.
Oh, just a tap?
Yeah, just
Okay.
tap it.
Heavy draw.
Yeah.
Back 8. Give me less.
The players do have clocks at the end that they can look at as well. So a couple different locations out on the ice. Hagberg now playing that intern side again.
I think our timeout's probably on my next one, right?
Line's
Close.
good.
Little down.
Yep. Yes.
Trying to move these Reds around, maybe put 2 behind the T line.
Hard. Hard, where are we?
Trying to hold line to tap it.
Hard, hard, hard.
Ends up just bumping a little bit and sitting open, so would have liked to move that Red a little more than they did.
What's the advantage to leaving our
I
shooter?
didn't want to be hack or bored. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't want them to be able to get to
with
this
how much
one.
ice I'm getting, like,
There's-
I don't
I mean,
wanna
they're still
float
going to
it
be
through
able
again.
to, right? If
Yeah.
we're,
Yeah, okay, do you just want to peel it?
I think so.
Okay, I would rather leave this one. I don't want to catch it, so stick.
Yeah.
Do you want to play peel or firm?
Peel.
Okay.
I won't
Great thoughts
overthrow
by
it.
Vicky. Again, that rock being the red rock, just to the right of her broom as we're looking at it, being at the top of the 4 foot is key. If he were to play this double or play the peel thin and knock that red rock back, you would give backing to the yellow team to draw to.
Just playing as open as they can right now. Casper making this peel and rolling out. You might see a similar type shot again now from Hagberg, trying to tap that stone to a pocket.
Yeah. Just a little bit more weight.
Yeah, I mean,
Just right here.
where do we want to roll to? Like, are we trying to roll the shot? Like, if we hit this thin, we
Yeah, I
also
guess.
leave this here, which is an in-off.
I'd almost tap it on
Yeah.
the nose, don't you think,
Yeah.
I don't
Tyler?
think we're going to be playing that.
Yeah,
with
nose
their
is
calls,
good.
but
That should move those around to sit right next to each
Yeah, I
other and
think
give
I
you
like this.
backing. So even if they made the peel out after that, then you have 2 rocks to
Okay, we'll
freeze
wait.
to and put pressure on
You
your
want me to
opponent
just
on the
remove
final
that
stone.
red or no?
No.
Okay.
Back 8, back 12. Just bump it back.
I think we call it a timeout.
So as
It
long
is-
as this gets tapped behind the T line, it's a good result because you're playing to score with your last shot, not with this one. You're trying to position the red stones so that you have a chance to steal on your final throw.
Yeah, totally agree. And it is interesting for them to tap
me less ice
and
for
roll
the last
behind
one.
their guard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that
Less.
they could potentially, if the roll is right, they could be shot and guarded. It's going to be
Less.
difficult. Maybe mostly guarded.
The most important thing on this shot is to get that stone, that red stone that's in the top of the 4 foot behind the T line. Hagberg again playing his
You
intern,
can. Well,
just trying to tap this stone back.
yep. Yes. Well,
That's not
That's
a
a
bad
really
result.
good shot.
Yeah, it tucks a piece behind the yellow too. That's pretty good.
And there's a pocket for Emily to draw to.
Yeah, no, they accomplished 2 things with that shot. That's well done.
Like, if you just peel it, they got to come all the way down and
Timeout right now for Persinger and Casper.
making them make it.
We'll listen in.
I like a board waiter here, right?
I'm going to get some more water.
okay.
That's tough. I may have something to run.
Yeah, what are you
So what
seeing
can I
for, I think, good board?
One shot
What
left
are
in
you
the
seeing
game.
for
Good time to get
wings
water,
or
right?
line? Just board?
Just board.
I'm kind of thinking, like, maybe there.
Yep. Yep. I think so.
Need more
Are
water
you
for the
good to
last
sleep?
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, we got one left.
I think just board. You think
got
less?
time.
Board
or-
weight
No.
now
Oh,
sounds
less
like the
broom
shot.
or weight? Danny, did you say less broom or weight?
Broom.
Yeah,
don't
right here. I don't want to take too much less.
Okay.
If they could stick around, hit like 4/5 of this stone with board weight or close to it, it takes away that freeze opportunity. At least makes it a lot more
Makes it
difficult.
a harder, yeah.
So I'd like to hit as much of this as they can, but can't get too close to that yellow rock in the top 12s.
Yep.
You know, if they turn the mics
Gotta
off when
go!
we're not shooting.
Hard!
Immediate sweep here.
Hard!
really curling hard.
Whoa, you're on the guard. Roll it.
It's
You gotta
gonna
roll
wreck,
it.
so now it's a matter of where it goes.
Go.
That's not a good spot to roll to either. Now a little tap on that yellow stone. There's no draw path there either.
Should have just peeled it.
So,
So we're shot.
yeah.
All right.
You just called timeout?
You also
Yeah.
can just draw through the
we're shot.
hole.
Yep.
And they are shot already.
So they have this, which honestly, if they run it into any of these 3 stones, is good for them.
Don't mind right
So I
here.
think we have to put another stone in there.
I like right here.
How do you get there?
Just come this way.
Yeah. You just don't want to rub this one because you could push us out of being shot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that run for them is making anything all day. Like we can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like another one in here.
Can we? That's just a super tight court. We could, how about we do this?
I just don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to
I mean, I
mess
think
with that
honestly,
one.
I think that's the best. This is super tight. Like getting a draw through here.
Yeah.
They're not curling a ton at the end, so it's like you'd have to have perfect perfect line.
Just getting it to here though, I really.
What's that?
I just really like this.
This is just super tight.
Yeah.
If
I'm
you touch
here,
either, we lose. Right?
Okay.
If you put it here, they just hit this and the
Yeah.
yellow doesn't outcount.
I just don't want to hit this like that
Yeah,
way.
they freeze.
I don't know.
We're
I'm
not
worried
hitting
about
this.
messing with that.
Oh, I mean, we got to make
But,
it like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I
mean,
guess it's never going over the
port
top.
is like 3/4 of a rock wide, so you'd have to skinny both rocks.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you could like tickle this one and roll over,
Yeah.
but
This was just my first
yeah,
instinct.
if you did that, then they can just hit off.
Yeah.
And this whole discussion, Brett,
I
is
know.
about what you want to
Getting there.
leave your opponent. And is it worth playing a shot that looks to be very difficult to get a better result and make it more difficult on Vicky
like
on her
this?
last shot?
I like the tap. I don't know.
We just gotta play like the perfect weight so we don't like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, tapping it to like here is
I
good.
think it's like 3/4 into the 8th hole.
That's what I like. I don't know.
Should be able.
If you tap, you have to tap
with
it
that?
pretty thick
Okay.
still, probably,
Yeah.
I mean,
because
like if you're light, you're light. But
You don't wanna
as
leave a
long as
pick.
You're not like back line.
for Persinger,
So
So
I like here.
straw line. Yeah.
I can sweep for line the whole way. So,
it
For the
has
folks at home, Tyler and I have
so we want to take half a rock.
tried to just let
Half
you
a rock
listen
or
to
less and roll away.
the talk between the 2 players and have you get into their minds of what
so.
they're thinking.
Yeah, they will be playing the tap on that yellow stone, so you want to tap it pretty thick. If it ends up tapping back all the way to the pocket, then there will be an open shot for Persinger and Casper. So if they just
Yeah.
tap it
Like,
to
when it
backside
opens,
of
we
T
drop it.
line,
Yeah.
3/4 on the high side of that yellow stone, that's probably what gives
Oh, just tap.
Persinger and Casper the most difficult shot
Yeah.
for the win.
If you come
Yeah,
lights,
it's just
like they just
hard to
hit
bat
it.
on the weight. Like,
Yeah, I think this is the
if
best
they're
shot.
high and all you need to do is make contact with that red, I think it's the.
Yeah, back 4.
They will have a short run in with that red stone in the top of the 12-foot, though.
You know what I mean? You have a lot of room, actually.
Schweitzer playing the in-turn tap.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe a
Looks
hair.
light.
Final stone of the game
They're
for
tapping the stone, it's gonna
Schweitzer
be
and
a
Hagberg, barring
Yep.
some kind of crazy, miraculous
Go for the
ball.
draw!
Yes!
The draw!
Go!
Now this is over curling, so now they're just playing the clean draw
Yes,
instead.
yes.
And the line's very good for that.
It is very good for that.
That
Hard!
gets by the red.
Hard!
Oh, look at this.
Wow.
I guess it was there.
Yeah.
I guess
Threw
it
the
was.
shot I wanted.
Oh yeah, you threw what you wanted.
That's, yeah.
And now
the-
Vicky has no chance but to follow them down.
I don't even know if you can do that. I mean,
Exactly.
it's got to stay to the nose.
Right.
So you have to get so close to the yellow in order to make that.
Really good.
Or, yeah,
The
I
red
guess-
run is or tap, whichever they choose, is the shot they know they can make.
No. I think that's
But again, I
But
mean,
you can't have that. You can't run it really because if it rolls off anywhere,
Up to you, whatever you're seeing. Those
It's
are the
game.
two options.
yeah, again, maybe not quite what they were playing out of hand, but great
Okay,
adjustment
back or what?
early in the shot to make that.
Okay. You want me to
well,
hold
it was
for
the
it?
shot that she actually talked about repeatedly throughout
Yeah,
that
just
discussion.
I love that
and
shot if that's the one you're playing.
Yeah, And she made it.
I know.
Nice shot.
But it was clearly the shot that she was comfortable with.
Yeah, let's say subconsciously she just threw it anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
So this will be a short little run for the top 12, but not a lot of margin for error now. Had they just thrown the guard, it would be the run to make contact with that red, or with the red to the yellow to win. Now it's have to stick it with soft weight, board weight, I believe is what they call, on the nose of that yellow stone and not roll off, because that yellow is not going anywhere.
So Tyler, just quickly, you've been in a position similar to this before. Now that you've made your shot and you're winning for the other team, what are you feeling right now? What are those two?
You know what? It doesn't matter how good of friends you are. You're putting the high holy hex on as hard as you can in your mind. Final stone of this game, Vicky Persinger. Outturned board weight run. Trying to stick this on that rock in the back of the button for the win. Starting to curl now. Very close. Oh, look at this shot. Dead perfect.
Nice
What a
shot.
shot by Persinger.
Really good game.
Fantastic finish. Heartbreaker for Schweitzer and
Great game.
Hagberg after an incredible comeback. But Vicky, as we've seen her do
It was not the
in
call out
big
of my
games, big shots,
What she wanted, so she threw
makes
it.
another one again.
She's a stone cold killer.
And they do get the 7-6 win over Schweitzer and Hagberg. But Brett, hats off to Schweitzer and Hagberg, their first game, to not just to come back the way they did, but perform against a team of that caliber the way that's for a good chunk of the game, at least half of it, they were toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the country.
They gave themselves every opportunity to win, and hats off to them. What a great start for their national championship, and obviously they're on the wrong side right there, but it's a good effort for sure.
Yeah, a lot to be proud of there, and I know how much it'll mean to them to play well in that game, even though they didn't get the victory itself. But on the flip side for Casper and Persinger, a big win out of the gates after blowing that deficit or blowing that lead. So our final 7-6 Persinger Casper over Hagberg and Schweitzer, and we will see you tomorrow morning for Draw 1 for Pool B. Thanks for joining us.